Hi everyone, this is my mnemonic video for Nursing 105 Medical Terminology class. My name is Abby Kennedy. I'm currently a sophomore at Liberty University, and my major is public health with an emphasis in nutrition. Long-term goal is I want to become a nutritionist or dietitian and basically work in a hospital or clinic setting to help people create a nutrition plan that improves their overall life, but also helps them recover from accidents, trauma, or other things they need a good nutrition plan for. My biblical application, when working in nutrition, a biblical viewpoint and attitude is vital for how you treat patients every day, and most importantly, treating them with kindness and respect, and that God created everyone differently, so you have to bring that patience in and just a gentleness, because this is food is a hard topic for most people. And then God calls us to use our spiritual gifts for His glory. And with public health, I can use those gifts to listen to people and walk with them through their struggles with diet and food issues. And again, just bringing that kindness in. And then public health strives to reduce and prevent diseases from occurring or progressing. And these ultimately are building up and sustaining our bodies, which is the temple of God. And so with working with public health, you can be a part of that change and that sustaining. Okay, so then for my 3 words, my first one is anorexia, which is defined as an eating disorder characterized by a patient's restricting food or refusing to eat. And so this applies with nutrition because it's a huge problem with not wanting to eat, and then they have a lot of diet problems, and they can have a lot of problems resulting from that with their body and lack of nutrition. And so just to break the word down, we have anorexia, which an means without, or rex means appetite, and ia equals condition, or ia. And then basically how I think about this, if you take the erex part, it's appetite. So I always think of a plate of food. So you have the things you want to eat, and an appetite really defines what we eat, when we eat, and how often we eat. And so if you're lacking an appetite, it's hard, or refusing it, it's hard to gain that nutrition. And so I always think of taking that and part without, and it's taking away that appetite. It's taking away our desire to eat or refusing to eat. So you take away that plate of food, and now you are without. So that's how I break down that word. My next word is bulimia, which is defined as an eating disorder characterized by overeating and usually followed by forced purging. And so to break this word down, we have bulimia, which is the bu is ox, limi is hunger, and ia is condition. And so to break down this word, I always take the bu part, or the bull. I always think of bully. And so this is a bully. And major characteristics we always define with a bully is they're beating you up, they're taking a characteristic and destroying it, they're making you feel bad about yourself, and many other things. And so if you take that bully part and you take the negative connotation with bulimia, which is forced purging, that makes me remind that it's a bad thing with eating. And so then you have this bully, he steals all your food and he eats it all. And so he's taking that overeating, and then with the characters of the bully, he's forced the purging or forced the punishment upon yourself or others. And so that's bulimia. My last word is atrophy, which is defined as an underdevelopment, disease, or loss of muscle tissue. And so to break the word down, we have atrophy, which is no, and then trophy, nourishment. And so related to nutrition, atrophy is a huge problem. If you don't have a good diet, you can have a lot of lack of muscle tone, or able to move it, because you don't have the nourishment or the calcium required to move your body. And so that's why a good diet is really important. And so to help us remember this, when I think of atrophy, I think of what you would want, which is a good muscle movement. And so this is a healthy bunny. A bunny makes me think of it. And he can hop, he can move around, he can everything, because he has a good diet, so he's got good muscle movement and good control. And then this is a bunny without. So he has a lack of muscle movement, he's exhausted all the time, and his has a loss of muscle because he has a loss of a good diet. And so muscles are not as easily formed, and harder to maintain that muscle tone and mass. And so I always think of like a healthy versus an unhealthy in atrophy. So I hope that was helpful, and thank you so much.